Welcome back to the neighborhood, boys and girls. Our last guest of the night is Rebecca Mariano from Keller, Washington Township.
Yes.
Rebecca, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome here. So we like to talk about a whole bunch of different stuff on Mr. Mortgage. So we joke around about it. Not everybody is in second grade and says, I want to be a real estate agent when I grow up.
Right.
So talk a little bit about, Rebecca, prior to the real estate industry and how you got into the business.
Sure.
Like, what was your pre-real estate life like and how'd you get here?
Sure. So my pre-real estate life had nothing to do with real estate.
Like most awesome
right.
real estate agents, that's the way it goes.
I had no intentions of getting into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that kind of fell into my lap. I was 20 years old and ran into someone I used to be neighbors with in the grocery store. And she said, I need an assistant. What are you doing? I was like, all right, sure. So I had no real estate background. She was just getting started with her office. So she took a chance on me. I took a chance on her. I ended up being there for 8 years, working my way up from just an admin. A year later, I got my license, which I had no intentions of getting into sales.
Right.
It was just to help out with open houses and showings here and there. And slowly worked my way up. But I was always on the back end doing transaction coordination or
Right.
marketing or office manager, things like that, while selling at the same time. I was there for about 8 years and I was looking for a better opportunity. I went to another team and I just left there. I was there for 4 years, still
Okay.
doing transaction coordination while selling. And as of recently, I'm a full-time agent, so I'm a
Now,
solo agent now.
You ripped the Band-Aid
I ripped it off,
you're-
yep.
you're
I was
full.
like, that
Nice.
salary is not a safety net, it's really just holding me back.
That's
so,
right.
yeah.
What's the meme that's right now? The salary is what they give you as compensation to take your dreams away
Right.
from.
Yep, right.
That's how it is. That's how
Very
it
true.
goes.
Yep.
And a lot of times you'll find like you look at that as the safety, but really, like you just said, that's what's holding you back. When
Yeah.
you take that jump, you're like, man, not many people do I find out go, I wish I would have stayed that way. Almost
Right.
all of them are like, I should have done that
Right,
5 years ago.
sooner,
This
right.
is so much.
Yep.
You know, the no ceiling aspect of things always is what keeps me in the 100% commission
Oh,
kind of thing.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so have you had a client base like where you say, that's my client? Is it like first time home buyers? Is it sales? Is there someone that you tend to gravitate to? Or are you kind of Jackie of all trades and do kind of whatever comes through?
I'm kind of across the board.
Okay.
I have a heart for people and my integrity is where it's at, and that's really what's built my business. So I've dealt with people who are first time buyers who are scared and have only rented
Sure.
and have no idea what it's like to buy a home or what it's like to pay a mortgage.
Yeah.
And I have people who are, it's an estate and their parents just passed and it's hard and it's an emotional process.
Sure.
So I'm that solid rock for them because I take the emotions out of it and I'm their go-to to help facilitate the deal. So I'm kind of across the board.
You're kind
I've
of the
dealt with it all.
anti-realtor,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yes,
That's-
yes.
That's not the common
Right.
type thing. Not that realtors don't have integrity, you know what I mean?
Right.
But most people in the, not most, but there, a good number of people in the business are kind of transactional, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They're not as heartfelt, you wouldn't get that type of explanation
Right.
like that.
Absolutely,
You know what I
and
mean?
I think my background of being a transaction coordinator, I mean, my last full year as a transaction coordinator, I did 296 sales for the team that I facilitated.
Okay.
Plus I sold around 30 houses with my clients on my own. So I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and a lot of agents in this business, unfortunately, are in it for the commission or for the transactions or the awards. I'm the furthest thing from it.
Right.
I'm the first one to talk someone out of a house if I don't think it's the
Nice.
right one. So yeah.
Nice, that's awesome. Okay, so talk a little bit about, let's push the calendar forward 2 years. Now we're July 2024. Tell me a little bit about some goals that you think you're going to achieve between now and then. Anything like specific, I know I'm going to be here, or I want this volume number, or
Sure.
anything that there is.
So it's a big question because a lot of changes have recently happened.
Okay.
At my whole career for 12 years, I was on a team, and
Okay.
as of about a month ago, I became fully solo. So took myself off the team and became a full-time agent.
Okay.
So my husband and I want to start a family soon. I know that's in the works, and that's going to change how my business looks like with
Sure.
that. But given my history, I also have made a ton of connections, and I've thought about being that go-to person for other transaction coordinators who are in the mix, and other agents who are juggling that salary full-time thing. Because it's like you said earlier, I wish I did it sooner.
Yeah.
It was the best decision I could have made. So I do have big goals as far as like where I want to be in life, and I'm not I need to make X amount of dollars person.
Sure.
What drives me really is my client's success. So
Nice.
focusing on them and being a better agent for them.
Now, do you see yourself having your own team, being the leader of a team, mentoring agents,
Possibly.
something like that?
I do feel like I excel in leadership.
Okay.
I was in a lot of leadership roles in the past as well. And I have been that go-to even now, even though I'm not on a team, I have been that go-to for a lot of agents in the business. So yeah, definitely. I'm not sure in what spectrum and what exactly that would look like, but I'm open to a lot of possibilities.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so the market is a little funky right now, and everybody knows it's been difficult for different reasons over the past year. Now things are getting back to somewhat normal, but it's still a little weird. What's one piece of information that you would give to a prospective home buyer, like a little bit of advice or something to prepare them for what this current climate is in the home buying process?
So I think a lot of that comes back to if they're a buyer that has been searching for the last year or two and now dealing with the transition, or if it's a buyer that's brand new to what this market looks like. Because you're going to go about it differently. I have clients that I've been working with for over a year that haven't found that right house for one reason or another, and we're now having discussions of, we're not, at one point you were putting all your cards on the table of waiving this, waiving that, giving you my firstborn, whatever I can do to get a house, and it's not looking that way anymore.
Right.
So it's structuring your offer differently. At the end of the day, it comes down to who you're working with, who your mortgage lender is, who your title company is, who your agent is.
Right.
Because who you work with matters. A lot of people say that, but it's true, and that's really what it comes down to when trying to get that offer accepted. Stay strong. I would say the market's definitely shifting, and there are more opportunities for buyers right now that haven't been out there. So looking at different types of mortgages, different types of loans is something that really you had to get the best one you could get at one point in time. Otherwise you had no chance.
Right.
So now it's since it's shifting, buyers are able to look at what's the best for them and not just what do I have to do to
Sell
get
for
this
what
house.
you can get. Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Okay, so now let's take it outside of real estate. What do you do with your free time life to either warm your spirit or challenge your mind, hobbies, personal stuff, anything that you do where you're like, well, this is my off real estate jam here. This is what I do. I
don't have many of those moments, to be honest. I am a very big go-getter in the real estate world.
Okay.
But I enjoy spending time with family, friends. I have 2 dogs of my own.
That's what I was like. I was like, I saw you had a bunch of puppies on your Facebook.
Very big dog person.
Right.
Yes. I do want to start volunteering at a shelter. That's big on my heart because I do have a few rescues that I've gotten. So dogs are a huge thing for me. And I feel like if someone doesn't like dogs, that says a lot about the person.
It's crazy. I never had a dog growing up, and like 5 years ago, crazy scenario, a dog just got dumped on our lap. And we took the dog in, and we had him for 4 years, and he was awesome, and he was old, and we had to put him down, and it was horrible for the family. So just recently, we adopted a pit bull through Don't Bully Us Rescue.
Yes.
And there was a pit bull that was like abused and left at a kill shelter, and when we met him, when we went to go meet him, he wouldn't come out of the van.
He was too scared?
He was too scared. Took us like 5 minutes to get him out, and then he's like deathly afraid of loud noises. So he came out, and he finally started to like come towards us a little bit, and a Harley Davidson drove by. He went under the van and couldn't get him out. So we immediately were like, that's our dog. That's what we want to take that dog in and go through. I have 6 kids, 5 of them live off and on at the house with us. So we have a big family all around. And I was like, that's kind of what I want. And now it's been the last 4 or 5 months watching him, because he's only, I guess he's 10 months now.
Okay.
But come out of his shell and not be afraid.
Yes.
He didn't bark for the first couple of months
I had
that he was there. Now he barks. Now he's so loving and caring. He's the opposite of what you would think of a pit bull.
Yes.
You know, and he's a purebred blue pit bull, and everyone's all scared of him. I'm like, this dog, if you bark at him, he's
Right,
gonna turn around and
right,
run away.
exactly,
There's nothing
exactly.
to be scared. But it's so awesome to do that. And I love that you said that with the rescue. I never had that growing up, and it wasn't a part of my life. But now that we did Rescue 1, I was like, I was talking
How could
to
you not?
my wife. I'm like, how can we rescue like 40 dogs?
I know.
Let's have puppies licking our face all the
Yep,
time. You know,
yep.
let's
If I
go.
won the lottery, I would have probably 40 dogs in my house.
Well, that means I'm not asking the next question that I was going to ask. So we're not going with that question because it was going to be if you won $1 million, what
Well,
would
there
you
you
do?
go.
We're not going to go with that. All right, so then we're going to go with if you could interview one person, alive or dead, throughout history, sit down with them for a half an hour and interview them, who do you think you pick to interview?
That's a hard question. Can we go with the $1 million one?
How about?
I already know the answer to that
You want
one.
music? Is music better?
Sure.
Okay. If you could have one music person or band come and play at your house for 2 songs, who would the band be and what would the 2 songs be?
John Mayer,
Okay.
In Your Atmosphere, and Love on the Weekend.
Nice. Love it. That's
Can't
a
go
good
wrong.
answer.
Can't go
Rebecca,
wrong.
thank you so much
Yes,
for coming by.
Thank you.
That'll do it for tonight on Mr. Mortgage's Neighborhood. We'll see you next week.